In this lesson, we will explore the timeline region and we will also see how to animate the objects in the scene. So for this lesson, here I have imported this car graphic as well as this road image graphic. Right. The After Effects is a layer based application. So we'll be creating layers of objects inside the timeline. So first we will be just creating a composition. Already there is one composition, but we'll create a new composition, and here we will just select this HD format, and we will just give it a name, animations. And it's all right if we select the duration as 10 seconds. We can increase the duration further if required. Right. So now we will first drag the road graphic inside our animations composition. So the way we can do is we can do it in two ways. One thing is we can select the road image and we can drag it just inside our timeline. Currently the animations composition is active, or we can do one more thing. We can simply select this road image and drag it and drop it over this animations composition, which is inside the project panel. So we can do it either way. Right. Now we will check the transform options available inside the timeline or inside our composition. So here if we collapse this arrow, so to collapse the arrow using a keyboard shortcut, we can use Control in PC or Command in Mac and then click on this arrow so that all the values inside the timeline which can be animated will be displayed. Right. So here position, scale, rotation, opacity are there, and we can also change the anchor point of the image. Right. So if we start with the position, so we can just change the position of the image in X and Y direction, and also we can scale the image. So we can resize or scale the image using the scale property inside the transform section, and we can also rotate the image. Right. So we can reset all the values. Just here we have the reset button. We can reset all the values. Right. So now we can also access individual options by using some shortcuts. So let's see what are those shortcuts. To activate only the position, we can hit P. So we can see here. To activate only the scale, we can hit S. To activate only the rotation, we can hit R. And there is also opacity, but opacity is not O but T. So right, so what is opacity? We can make the image semi-transparent or fully transparent. That is called opacity. Right. Now if we want to see all the values, we can simply collapse this arrow and again hold Control in PC or Command in Mac and then click on this arrow so that all the values will be visible. Right. Now we will scale the image using the scale property. We'll make it big. Right. Now we will get the car graphic. So here is the car graphic. We will simply drag it inside our composition. Right. So here is the car graphic. We will place it on the road. Right. Now we will animate. So To animate, again we can just collapse the arrow here to see all the values. Right. So now to animate, we need to first decide which value we are supposed to animate. So we will be animating the position. So here we have a stopwatch. If we just click on the stopwatch, we will be creating a key. We can check here. This is the key, and this blue line is the playhead. This is the playhead. This will take us to the particular time value, to the particular time duration. Right. So let's say if we want to animate this car for, let us say, 2 seconds, we need to move the playhead to 2 seconds, or if we are unable to exactly take our playhead to 2-second mark, we can just click on this time value over here. This is go to time panel, and we can just type 2 seconds inside this go to time panel, or we can say pop-up. Right. Now we are exactly at 2 seconds time, and now we need to just move the position. So here we need to move the car in X direction. Here we can see the X direction and the Y direction. So we will move the car in X direction. That's it. Now if we hit home, we will go back to the first frame, and now if we hit spacebar, we will be animating this car. So we can see here we have created a simple animation. Right. We can also move this keyframe to, let us say, 3 seconds to make the animation a little bit slow. Now the car is moving slowly. Right. And if we want to make it more slow, we can just put a value of, let's say, 6 seconds and 0 frames, and we can just move our keyframe to the 6th second. That's it. And if we hit home and spacebar again, now the car moves very slowly. So if we move the keyframes closer to each other, the animation will be very fast, and if we move the keyframes farther away from each other, the animation will be slow. So we have already seen this, right? But the important thing here is we can actually gradually speed up the animation or gradually slow down the animation. There are some options with which we can gradually speed up or slow down the animation. But before that, there is one keyboard shortcut to just move from one keyframe to another, to move to the previous keyframe or to the next keyframe. So that is K for next keyframe and J for previous keyframe. Right. Now if we just play the animation, alright, the car is moving slowly. So we can do one thing, we can just select these keyframes, just draw a selection around these keyframes, and if we right click over these keyframes, here we have the keyframe assistant. From the keyframe assistant, here we have some options: easy ease, easy ease in, easy ease out. We also have keyboard shortcuts Shift F9 for easy ease in and Control Shift F9 or Command Shift F9 for easy ease out. Let's begin with the easy ease. So we can see the keyframes have changed now. Now if we hit spacebar, so we can see there is a change in the way the car is moving. right. So it's speeding up. And then if we again select these keyframes, and then we will right click, select keyframe assistant, and then if we select this easy ease in, now let's see what happens. Or we will do one thing, we will just go back to the first keyframes, and then we will just right click keyframe assistant, and we will select easy ease in. So now they look like arrows, the keyframes look like arrows. So let's see what happens. So we can see a change in the animation. So it has slowed down. It begins fast and gradually it slows down. Right. And now we will again go back. And now we will select the keyframes again, and we will just select the third one, easy ease out. So it begins slowly and speeds up. Right. So we will go back to the first one, that is, we will select this easy ease, right. And then now what we'll be doing is, here we have an option graph editor. We will click on this graph editor. So this is the curve, the speed curve, and here we can just edit the speed curve here. If the speed curve is not active, we have to check the speed curve here. Currently for me, the speed curve, edit speed curve option is active, right. So here if we click, we can see a yellow color, a point here. So I can just change the graph or this curve. So this is the point on the curve. If I can just move this point like this, and we can see this is the point, the topmost point, this area, this region. In this region the car moves very fast, so we can just play and check. So we can see here the car begins slowly and then it accelerates, right. And then if we do the opposite, let's again change the curve here. Let's again just change the shape of this curve, and if we play again, it's very fast and gradually slows down. So in this way we can control the speed of the car. And if we change the curve's shape even further, see, so now curve speeds at the center and slows down in the end and also begins slowly. So let's play. So now it starts slow and then speeds up and then slows down. So let's see once again. We can also reverse the animation. So it's very easy. Just we will select the keyframes. We will right click on the keyframes. We have to select the keyframe assistant, and then we will select this time reverse keyframes. Now if we play the animation, now the car is moving backwards. And again we can select the keyframes and then right click keyframe assistant and select time reverse keyframes. So in this way we can move forwards or backwards with this keyframe assistant. So these type of animations are very much useful for us in the upcoming classes. We can do some very interesting motion graphics using this speed curve or speed graph, right.